The thing about screenwriting is pretty much anyone can do it. If you love movies and TV and you have some ideas, you could write a screenplay. But will it be any good? Probably not. And honestly, that's how a lot of people get started in screenwriting. They like movies and TV, they have an idea, they know how to write sentences, they watch a few YouTube videos, maybe read a few books, and voila, they now know how to write a screenplay. So while it's that simple, it's not really that simple. Screenwriting is deceptively hard, and approaching it like you've got it all figured out is just going to result in some major frustration for you, and I don't want you to be frustrated. You have stories to tell that the world needs to hear, and so you need to do one thing that sounds super simple, but in reality is hard to do, and that is to raise your standards of excellence. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you need to do it, and I'm going to give you 3 ways to do it. So you have a choice. You can keep doing what you're doing and hope you catch lightning in a bottle, or you can change your trajectory and raise your standards. So 3 reasons why you need to raise your standards, and then 3 ways to do it. Reason number 1 for why you need to raise your standards is a high work ethic needs to be a habit. One thing most aspiring screenwriters don't realize is how busy working writers actually are. Because it just is like, oh, they're just like writing a script and just like, that's fine. It doesn't take a lot of time, right? Okay, but working on one script, taking meetings, pitching another, being asked to evaluate scripts or provide notes for industry people that they've worked with, reading scripts from friends, doing a quick pass on a script that was requested yesterday and they need it by Friday, and that's on top of, life. And people outside of the industry hear about these successful people and sometimes wonder, well, how do they do it all? Well, simply, they have a high work ethic. All of them. I've never met a working screenwriter I've thought of as lazy. Not one. They have multiple irons in the fire, but the demands on their time is high. But that gets confused with busyness, and that's not what I'm talking about here. The thing with having a high work ethic is writers aren't writing to just turn it in, to get it good enough to submit. In Hollywood, good enough is never good enough. You must pursue excellence. So it's not just that writers have a lot of demands on their time and are working on many things at once. They have learned how to manage their time so they can pour excellence into everything they're working on. None of them do a halfway job. It might take them a while to get to something on their list, but when they do solid work. And it's not that they aren't tempted to slouch, it's they've cultivated a habit of excellence to the point that they literally cannot submit something that is merely good enough. And that's what the industry expects. No one in Hollywood is looking to hire mediocrity. If you are average or seem like you're just above average, it might seem like it's good, but in those cases you are merely good enough, not excellent. And excellence is what is pursued. And if you aren't pursuing excellence in yourself and in your own writing, I'm sorry, but it's only going to be good enough, and you won't get the opportunities to go through the doors that you're wanting to go through. So start now trying to create habits of excellence, and not just in writing, but in every aspect of your life. Be an excellent friend or spouse or partner, parent, son, daughter, employee, volunteer, whatever hats you wear, pursue excellence. Start cultivating that habit in your whole life, and it will filter into your writing. Reason number 2 why you should raise your standards is having high standards removes complacency from your life. One trap people fall into is thinking they have it all figured out. They get complacent. They think they know how to solve every problem or that they have a solution for everything. And you know people like this in your life, and I bet they are super annoying to be around because they're cocky and arrogant and they belittle everyone else around them. But those people also think that the highest standards are their own standards, that they don't need to work to improve themselves because they're already at the pinnacle of excellence. They're not. They're the telephone operator and they're phoning it in. So they may find early success, but then everything in their career stagnates and they can't get any traction. And what these people do most often is they start blaming others. They blame the readers or the agents or the managers or the producers for not recognizing their brilliance. But all the readers, agents, managers, producers see is mediocrity and complacency. Having high standards forces you to constantly evaluate yourself, to constantly challenge yourself, and to constantly push back against the complacency in your own writing. So let's take me as an example. I have this channel and I'm just wanting to help you become a better writer. I provide resources for you to do that through these videos and other things that are linked below. I want you to tell the stories that you want to tell in a way that is compelling and entertaining, which helps you have a shot at a career in screenwriting. I can help you write a script that gets you in the room. I'm regularly in the room. Many of my students have gotten in the room. But do I have it all figured out? No. Do I know everything there is to know about screenwriting? No. Am I constantly trying to learn? You bet. So really the question you have to ask yourself is, are you happy with the results that you're currently getting? If you are, then keep doing the exact same things you're doing because that will get you exactly the same results. But if you aren't, then you're going to have to go about it differently. Take a class, read a different book, write a different script, get some help in a way that you've not had help before. Otherwise, you're just being complacent, thinking your standards are good enough, when in fact, they're just mediocre. And you will not find success as a screenwriter if you live in the land of complacency. And the third reason you need to raise your standards is because if you don't, you are a barrier to your own success. And what I mean by that is the reason you may not be finding success is you. And that sucks to hear, and I'm sorry to say it. I know it sounds negative and harsh, and that's a criticism I get from time to time. I know that I come across as harsh or negative or whatever sometimes, but my goal is not to coddle you. It's to help you get better. It's to speak truth into you and into your life and into your writing. But if you are settling with not raising your standards where they need to be, then you complain about not being able to make it as a screenwriter. You're the only one standing in your own way. Agents and managers and producers are looking for and desperate for good stories that are well told. When they read a query letter that piques their interest, they are rooting for you because they're looking for something great. So if others are not responding to your scripts, it's either because they have a conflict of interest and have something similar to your script already under their banner, which does happen more than you think, or, and this is the hard part to hear, your script just isn't that good. I'm sorry, it may just not be that good. It doesn't rise to the standards of other scripts that are that good. And if it's your first screenplay, chances are you are writing at little league level, at pee-wee football, at under 10 soccer. But for a script to garner attention, it's got to be at a professional level. You have to demonstrate you belong. Your script is your resume. And you can't just write something, show up at a hospital, and suddenly have a job as a surgeon. Okay, that's not how it works. It takes work and practice and knowledge and skill and a demonstration of your abilities. So do yourself a favor and get out of your own way. If you fail at something you're trying to do, instead of blaming or being frustrated at the system, parse out what you can learn from the failure. How can you do better next time? And when you do, you are forcing yourself to raise your standards and actually get better. But how do you raise your standards? You're like, okay, Jake, I want to raise my standards, so how do I do it? I'm going to give you 3 things, and I'm going to do it rather quickly. 1, always be learning. Maybe this is watching videos like this one where you're trying to learn new things, trying to think about things differently. But maybe you take a writing class or read a new book. And the book doesn't even have to be on screenwriting specifically. Learn about other aspects of the business. What do directors or producers or cinematographers or editors do? Knowing those other jobs actually helps you become a better writer. But what you're striving for is cultivating an attitude of being a lifelong learner. If you're always trying to learn, you know you haven't arrived yet. You know there is always something out there that you can learn and do better. So go learn and do. And the more you learn, the more you realize you need to raise your standards because you will now know something that you didn't know before. So cultivate that attitude of always learning. Work it into your schedule, even if it's 30 minutes a week. More is better, but even starting with a little bit that you can achieve on a weekly basis will move you into raising your standards. 2, write a new script. Yeah, you've worked on that one script far too long, and now it's 3 years later. I know you love it. I know you want to see it on the big screen, but you need to let it go. You won't learn anything new by working on the same story you've been working on. Learn something new by writing a new script. So if you've got a script you've been working on for more than a year, get to a stopping point as soon as possible and start a new script. No, not revising a different script that you've worked on 4 years before the current one. A brand new script. And yes, I know it'll be hard, but it's okay. You can do hard things, so wrap it up and put it in a drawer or whatever and start a new script. Writing the first screenplay is hard. Writing the second is harder. And if you want to find success and make a go of being a screenwriter, you've got to be able to finish a script and write another, and another, and another. And in this act of writing a new script, you will want to write something better. You will want it to be at a higher level than your current one. Your standards automatically go up just by starting something new. If you keep working on the same script, they won't. So new script, raise your standards. And number 3, surround yourself with others who will help you. But I don't know any other screenwriters. I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't know who to ask for help. Let me replay something. But if you are settling with not raising your standards where they need to be, then you complain about not being able to make it as a screenwriter, you're the only one standing in your own way. If you want to find success, you will find a way through. You will find resources, you will find people to help and connect with. You will find others who can help and who are willing to help. Maybe they aren't screenwriters. Maybe they're just people that you respect. Or maybe you just begin to surround yourself with people who are successful in their own fields. People who have a high work ethic so you can see what that looks like. People who are not complacent with who they are, but who are lifelong learners. What are they reading? What are they learning about? Surround yourself with others who will help you and speak life into you. We as people need, love, and crave community. Some of us who are introverts, we don't need many friends, but we do need some. Others of us want lots of people in our life. So go volunteer somewhere. Get involved in your community or at your church. Be around other people and surround yourself with people who are better than you or people who want to help you. And you will automatically begin to raise your standards because you won't want to disappoint them. Or you may even want to help them in return as you're able. I truly do want you to find success and achieve your screenwriting dreams. And if you want my help in more practical ways, there are links below, or you can just watch this. Thank you for watching. Fun buttons and links below. Hitting like really does help me out if you found benefit in this video. And when you tell a story that matters. See you later.